The world was quiet when the signal arrived. It came without warning, a faint but clear message that no one could explain. On the far edge of space, Earth's satellites picked up something strange. At first, scientists thought it was just space. Noise, random waves from distant stars. But this was different. It was not noise. It was a message. Dr. Ria Malik sat in the dark control room of the International Space Observatory. She stared at the glowing screen in front of her. The message repeated in a strange pattern, like a code. She had been working late, trying to find meaning in the empty signals. Now her heart beat faster. This ... This is not random, she whispered to herself. Ria was a young scientist, fresh from university, but her mind was sharp. She worked with a small team that watched for anything unusual in space. This message was their first real mystery. The message was short. It was in English, simple words. They are coming. Hide or fight. Ria felt a chill run down her spine. How could this be? Who sent this, and why? She called her team quickly. The room filled with tension. We have to check if this is real, Ria said. If it is, this is a warning. Her team worked through the night. The satellites traced the signal, but it was strange. The source kept moving. It was as if the Gyuvemu message was coming from somewhere in space ... Then from Earth itself. By morning, news agencies caught wind of the signal. Governments around the world were alerted. The message made headlines. Unknown signal. Earth warned of arrival. The world was confused. Some called it a hoax. Others feared an alien invasion. The United Nations held an emergency meeting. Military leaders and scientists argued about what to do. The message was short, but its meaning was clear. Something was coming to Earth. Despite the warnings, life went on. People tried to ignore the fear. But in the skies, strange things began to happen. One morning, over the Amazon rainforest, something huge appeared. A giant shadow moved across the clouds. It was a spaceship, massive, dark, and silent. For just a few seconds, it was visible to thousands below. Then it vanished. No one knew what to believe. Was it a trick? A natural phenomenon? Or was it connected to the signal? Ria knew this was the beginning of something big. The first clue deep underground. Hidden beneath the sands of Egypt, something stirred. A secret base, long forgotten, woke to life. It was a relic from an ancient time when humans had reached the stars. The UN sent a team of scientists and soldiers to investigate. They found 6 cryogenic pods, each holding a human figure in battle armor. The armor was strange, made of materials no one recognized. The team opened the pods one by one. The humans inside were asleep, preserved for thousands of years. The leader of the team, Colonel James Holden, watched carefully. These are not normal people, he said. They are warriors from the past. The hunters awake one by one. The cryopods hissed open. The humans inside gasped for air, confused and weak. They looked around with sharp eyes, alert and ready. The leader of the group was Kale. He was tall, strong, with a calm but fierce look. His memories were foggy. He did not know where he was or how long he had been asleep. We were waiting, Kale said quietly. The soldiers and scientists listened closely. Kale's voice was steady, but his eyes showed worry. They are coming, he said. The Valari, they followed us here. No one understood at first. Kale explained that long ago, humans had left Earth to explore the stars. They fought a deadly enemy, the Valari. The Valari wanted to conquer and destroy. Kale and his team had been left behind on Earth in cryosleep, waiting for the day the Valari would return. The sky turns red suddenly. The sky outside the base turned a deep red. Alarms blared. Kale stood quickly. They are here, he said. Outside, strange ships appeared in the clouds. The Valari had come. Earth was no longer safe. The warning Ria and Kale met for the first time. She showed him the signal she had decoded. "It's a warning," she said. "Your people sent it." Kale nodded. "We must prepare. The fight for Earth begins now." Rhea felt both fear and hope. The battle ahead would be long and hard. But for the first time, she believed humans could fight back. The signal from nowhere was only the beginning. Darkness, cold, silence. That's all Kale could feel before his eyes opened. His breath came hard. He gasped, lungs pulling in air after what felt like centuries. His muscles ached. His mind was slow, filled with broken memories. He lay inside a glass pod, bright white lights above him. Strange voices echoed in the background. Then, the pod opened with a hiss. He sat up fast, instinct telling him danger was near. A man in uniform stood in front of him, holding a gun, not aiming but ready. Kale blinked, confused. "Where? M1?" The soldier looked back at a woman in a lab coat. Dr. Hina Patel, one of the scientists from the UN recovery team, stepped forward slowly. "You're safe," she said calmly. "You're on Earth." Kale stared at her. "Earth. Still. Lives?" She nodded. "You've been asleep for a long time. We just woke you." Kale's head lowered. His voice turned hard. "Then they are close. If we are awake, the Volari must be near." The old world meets the new. Kale stepped out of the cryopod. His armor was still working, black, flexible, with glowing silver lines. 5 other pods stood nearby, each with a sleeping warrior inside. He touched one pod gently. "Tauren, wake up." One by one, the other hunters awakened. Their bodies were weak, but their minds sharp. They had names: Tauren, Nyla, Voss, Derek, and Lena. Each wore different armor, suited for different skills: strength, speed, stealth, and strategy. These were not ordinary humans. They were from the old Empire, genetically improved, trained to fight in deep space wars. Earth had forgotten them, but they had not forgotten Earth. First, contact Colonel James Holden. The UN officer in charge watched them carefully. "They look human," he whispered, "but they feel different." Dr. Rhea Malik, standing beside him, had seen the same look in their eyes. Not fear, not confusion, but purpose. "They're here for a reason," she said. They knew this day would come. Kale listened to them, then finally spoke. "I need to speak to your leaders." Holden nodded. "They're coming, but first, tell us, what are the Volari?" The Velarith hunters sat around a table in the underground base's control room. Kale stood beside a large screen, showing old star maps. He began to explain. "The Volari are not machines, not animals. They are something between." He pointed at a star far from Earth. They were created by another species, once slaves, now masters. They move from planet to planet, destroying life and replacing it with their own. Their goal is not just control. It's transformation. Rhea frowned. "But why Earth?" Kale looked her in the eyes. "Because Earth was once part of the human empire. It has the perfect environment, and something more." He paused. "It has the core. They want it." Suspicion and fear while the hunters spoke. The world above was watching. Footage of the underground base was leaked. People saw the armored soldiers and strange technology. Panic grew. News outlets called them aliens. Some thought they were here to invade. World leaders argued. Should they trust these old warriors or lock them away? Inside the base, tension was rising. A UN general confronted Colonel Holden. "We don't know these people. They could be dangerous." Holden shook his head. "Or they could be our only hope." A memory from the past that night. Kale sat alone, looking at an old Earth map. He remembered his training. How Earth was once a jewel of the Empire. How children played in green parks. How cities stretched into the sky. But all of that had vanished. He whispered to himself, "We never should have left her unguarded." Nyla walked in. "We're not alone anymore." Kale nodded. No. And if the Valari are truly coming, this planet must be ready. A global shock. The next morning, it happened again. In the sky above Iceland, a bright blue light appeared, then exploded. A Valari probe had entered the atmosphere. It floated in silence, scanning everything. People recorded it with phones, thinking it was just a strange drone. But when a helicopter flew too close, the probe shot it down in one hit. The video went viral. Earth knew now something had come. Governments had no choice. The UN made a decision. The hunters would be Earth's first line of defense. Training begins in a secret base in Greenland. The hunters began working with Earth's elite soldiers. Kale trained them fast, hand-to-hand combat, alien tactics, energy weapons. Human weapons were too weak. The hunters shared their old tech. Plasma rifles, adaptive shields, scanning helmets. But even with new weapons, the humans were not ready. Your people have lost the warrior's edge, Derek said during a sparring session. Maybe, said a human soldier. But we've got the heart. Kale smiled at that. Good, you'll need it. A silent visitor late one night. Alarms blared. Something had broken into the base. Hunters and soldiers rushed to the armory. What they found froze their blood. A Valari scout, tall insect-like, with glowing blue veins, stood in the shadows. Its body was made of bone and machine. It had no face, only a pulsing light where eyes should be. It moved fast. Too fast. One soldier fired. The bullet bounced off. Kale stepped forward. Let me handle this. He fought with speed and power. The Valari was strong, but Kale was trained for this. He dodged, attacked, and finally used a blade hidden in his armor. The Valari fell, but before it died, it said one word in perfect English. Cedar. What is the cedar? The base went silent. Rhea ran into the lab, searching old files. Kale followed. What did it mean? She asked. Kale's face was pale. The cedar is a weapon. He explained. It's not just a ship, it's a living machine. It lands on a planet and begins changing it. Air, water, land, animals. In days, the planet becomes like the Valari's homeworld. He looked at Rhea. If the cedar is coming, Earth has only weeks. The final warning, before the episode ends, the base's AI picks up something terrifying. A second signal. Just like the first, but this time with coordinates. The screen shows a red dot. Deep in the Pacific Ocean. Kale steps forward. That's where the cedar will land. Rhea looks at him. How much time do we have? Kale stares at the map. 7 days. The world was no longer calm. After the attack in Iceland, the Valari were real. The video of the downed helicopter had been seen by billions. There was no more hiding. No more doubts. People were afraid. Some ran to the mountains. Others built bunkers. Some tried to leave Earth, but there was nowhere to go. And then the message came. The Valari speak at exactly 3 a.m. GMT. Every screen on Earth turned black. Phones, TVS, billboards, even satellite feeds were taken over. A strange symbol appeared first. A spinning circle with spikes. Then a voice, cold, robotic, hollow. We are the Valari. This world is now claimed. Your species is not required. You have 7 cycles. Comply or be removed. Then the symbol vanished. Panic followed. Stock markets crashed. Protests erupted. Some people demanded peace. Others demanded war. The cedar, the great alien machine Kale had warned about, was coming. And Earth had less than 7 days. The leaders react in New York, inside a United Nations underground command center. World leaders gathered. The room was loud with arguments. We should negotiate. Shouted one. With what? They don't care about peace. Another yelled. We should nuke the ocean. They could be bluffing. Kale stood silent in the corner, watching them argue. He had seen this before. Fear, confusion, pride. It always came before collapse. Rhea stepped forward. Please, listen to him. Finally, the room went quiet. Kale walked slowly to the center of the room. I've fought the Velari, he said. I've lost friends to them. I've watched them erase entire cities in hours. They do not bluff. They do not listen. They only destroy. He pointed at the map showing the Cedar's landing zone in the Pacific. You have 6 days. Use them well. The mission. First contact. The world needed answers. The Cedar had not yet landed, but strange signals were rising from its expected location. A plan was made. A deep-sea drone would be sent into the Pacific. It would scan for alien tech. At the same time, Earth would attempt its first contact, using a high-powered signal tower in Hawaii, if the Velari could be reasoned with. This was the only chance. Kale disagreed, but the leaders insisted. Maybe. They will listen, Rhea said, quietly. Kale looked at her. They won't. Still, he agreed to be present. Just in case. The contact tower in Hawaii, was one of Earth's most advanced systems. It had been built to send messages to deep space colonies that were now silent. On the third night after the warning, the tower was ready. A small team of scientists, soldiers, and Kale stood inside the control room. The ocean below was calm. Stars above were bright. The lead technician activated the signal. Message sent, she said. Now we wait. For a few minutes there was silence, then a response. The death beam, strange buzzing sound filled the air. The radar picked up something, fast and getting closer. Object incoming, shouted the radar officer. Outside, in the dark sky, a silver spike-shaped object flew down like a missile. It didn't explode. It hovered above the tower. Then, a beam of blue light shot down, piercing through the tower like a sword through paper. The tower shook. Metal melted. Fire burst out. One of the scientists screamed as the beam hit him. His body turned to ash in seconds. Evacuate, shouted Kale, pushing Rhea behind cover. He activated his armor shield. The Velari drone was scanning everything. The soldiers fired at it, but their bullets bounced off. Kale jumped through the flames and threw a plasma grenade. The drone exploded mid-air, but it was too late. The tower collapsed. 5 scientists died. The message had been received. The answer was clear: no peace. The funeral broadcast the next day. Across the world, Earth held its breath. The UN made a public broadcast, a tribute to those lost at the tower. The screen showed the names of the dead. Rhea stood in silence. She had known them, friends, colleagues, dreamers. The final part of the video showed the attack footage, the Velari drone, the blue beam, the destruction. No more doubts. This was war. The prisoner that night, something strange happened. A deep-sea drone, damaged but still working, returned to the base in Greenland. Inside its storage pod was a body, alive. The interrogation. The Velari creature was unlike anything Earth had seen. Its body was part metal, part bone. Long arms with blade-like fingers, a glowing spine. No face, just a shifting silver surface. Kale and Rhea stood outside the containment chamber. It's a scout, Kale said, but it's weak. Something's wrong with it. The Velari sat inside, UNMOVING. Then, suddenly, it spoke, using human language. You are late. You have forgotten. You were once stars. Now you are dirt. Kale stepped forward. Why attack Earth? The Velari tilted its head. Because the Cedar is hungry. And Earth is the final meal. Rhea stepped closer. What? Is the Cedar really? The Velari made a sound like laughter. The Cedar is your rebirth, or your grave. Its eyes flickered. She awakens soon. And with her comes the new world. Kale's eyes narrowed. She? The Velari leaned forward, even inside the energy cage. The Cedar is alive. Then, its body began to shake. Kale shouted. Get back! It's self-destructing. The Valari exploded in a blast of liquid metal. No one was harmed, but the message was clear. The cedar was more than a machine. It was a living weapon. The race begins only. 4 days remained. The UN activated full global alert. Nations across Earth joined the effort. Satellites were armed. Defenses built. Evacuation started near the Pacific. Meanwhile, Kale and the hunters prepared. They trained elite soldiers in alien combat. They shared old weapons from their ship buried deep under the Sahara. They taught humans how to fight like warriors. Still, Kale knew. It may not be enough. The secret in the code. Rhea returned to her lab to study the Valari signal again. She noticed something strange. The language, the rhythm. It matched a very old Earth signal, one from a satellite launched 500 years ago. Hidden in the Valari signal was a code. She decrypted it. One word appeared: bloodline. She stared at the screen, confused. Then, her computer flashed again. Your key opens the core. Rhea's hands trembled. Why me? Kale's realization. Kale listened as Rhea told him everything. Her DNA, her family history, how her ancestors were from one of the first space colonies before they fell. You're a descendant of the first generation, Kale said. Your bloodline was marked. That's why you could hear the signal before anyone else. That's why the cedar wants you. Rhea backed away. You mean, they're coming for me? Kale nodded. Double quotes. They think you can unlock the core. Final scene. The eye opens in the final scene of Part 3. Deep beneath the ocean, the cedar begins to rise. Its massive round body is covered in alien vines and glowing machines. It has no engines. It floats like a giant jellyfish. In the center of it, a circular eye begins to open. Inside, a shape stirs. Tall, metallic, feminine. The queen of the Valari is waking up. The ocean was quiet, but beneath the waves, the cedar moved. Its huge body glided slowly toward the surface, like a dark mountain rising from the deep. Inside, the Valari queen opened her glowing eyes. She was ancient, more machine than flesh, with a crown of twisting metal and light. Her voice echoed inside the cedar's hull, a cold, electric whisper that carried across the planet. Awakened at last. The hive mind back on Earth. Kale and the hunters stood around a holographic map of the Pacific. Rhya was with them. Eyes tired but sharp. 7 days, she repeated. That's all we have. Kale looked at the map. The cedar is not just a ship. It's a living hive, a mind made of millions of parts. Neela, the fastest of the hunters, nodded. We saw its scouts. It controls everything: air, sea, even the animals. Derek, the strongest, frowned. How do we fight something like that? Kale's voice was quiet but firm. We don't. The core of Earth. Rhea stepped forward. There's something on Earth, the core. She tapped a spot on the map, deep beneath the surface, under the Pacific. It's a powerful energy source, ancient, unknown to most. Why haven't we used it? Colonel Holden asked. Rhea shook her head. It's dangerous. No one knows how it works. But the Valari want it. That's why the cedar is here. Kale's eyes darkened. If the cedar takes the core, Earth will be lost. The Council's decision. The UN met again, this time with Kale and Rhea present. The leaders argued over the core. Some said, we should destroy it, blow it up. If the Valari get it, better it never exists. Others disagreed. We can't lose it. It's Earth's last hope. The debate went on for hours. Finally, a decision was made. They would try to activate the core using Rhea's bloodline as a key. The bloodline secret. Rhea sat alone in a secure lab. She held a small device, an ancient key passed down in her family. Without her knowledge, the device hummed with energy when she touched it. She looked at old family records. Her ancestors were not just colonists. They were guardians, protectors of the core. Her hands shook. This is bigger than I imagined, she whispered. preparing for battle outside. The hunters trained with Earth soldiers. Kale taught them to use alien weapons recovered from the cryoship beneath the Sahara. The soldiers learned to move faster, strike harder, and think like warriors. Still, Kale knew it was not enough. "The cedar will not stop," he told Rhea. "We must be ready to die for Earth." She nodded. "I'm ready." The first attack on the fourth day. The cedar launched its first assault. Massive alien creatures rose from the ocean. They were half machine, half animal, towering with glowing eyes and razor claws. They spread chaos in coastal cities, destroying power plants, cutting communications, and attacking civilians. Kale led a team to stop them. The battle was brutal. Bullets and plasma fire lit the night. Kale's armor took hits but held strong. They managed to push the creatures back, but at a cost. Many soldiers died. The scientist's discovery in her lab. Rhea made a breakthrough. Using the ancient key, she unlocked part of the core's control system. The core was alive. A sentient energy dot it responded to her, sending visions, flashes of the past. She saw humans long ago, using the core's power to explore the stars. She saw the Valari attacking those humans, and she saw a promise that one day a descendant would awaken the core to save Earth. The Queen's warning far beneath the ocean. The Valari Queen spoke to her hive mind. "Prepare for the final stage," she said. "The core must fall." Her voice was cold, full of hate and power. "We will destroy this world and create a new one in our image." Countdown to war with 3 days left. Earth prepared. The hunters and soldiers set up defenses around the Pacific core. Sight. Rhea's research was shared with military leaders. Kale walked among the soldiers, giving hope and strength. "We fight not just for survival," he said. "We fight for Earth's future." The unexpected alle late at night. Rhea received a message from an unknown source dot. It was a star map showing a hidden base on the moon. The message said, "Help is coming." Rhea shared this with Kale. He frowned. If it's true, it could change everything. The calm before the storm, the night before the final battle. Earth held its breath. Kale and the hunters stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Stars shone brightly. Rhea joined them, holding the ancient key. "We will face the cedar," she said. Kale smiled grimly. "And we will fight." The sun rose blood red over the Pacific. The calm before the storm had ended. Earth's greatest battle was about to begin. The final countdown in the underground base near the core. Kale and the hunters checked their weapons. Rhea held the ancient key tightly. Outside, soldiers prepared their gear. Colonel Holden's voice came through the speakers. "Today, we fight not just for survival, but for the future of Earth." The cedar emerges from the deep ocean. The cedar slowly surfaced. Its massive shape blocked the horizon. Like a black mountain with glowing veins. Alien ships flew around it. Valari drones ready to strike. The cedar's eye opened, casting a blue light across the sea. The first Valari creatures stormed the beaches. Human soldiers fought bravely, but the aliens were fast and strong. Kale led a squad to push them back. Bullets flew. Plasma bolts crackled. Kale's armor absorbed many hits, but he saw his teammates fall. The fight was brutal. Rhea's connection in the core control room. Rhea connected the ancient key to the core's console. Energy flowed through the room. She closed her eyes and felt a pulse, like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Visions flashed. Ancient Earth. The core's power. The first human explorers. She whispered, "I'm ready." The Hive Attic's Valari drones swarmed the base. The hunters fought with everything they had. Neela moved like a shadow, striking down enemies before they could react. Derek smashed through Valari, warriors with brute force. But the swarm kept coming. Core awakens. Rhea's connection deepened. Light burst from the core. The ground trembled. The core began to glow with power, ancient and fierce. Kale shouted, Hold the line, we must protect her. The Queen's fury, the Valari Queen watched. From the SEEDER. Her voice thundered through the hive mind. Destroy them. Destroy the core. She sent her elite guards, massive, armored Valari, to the base. The turning point Kale faced the Queen's elite guard leader, a towering creature with blades for arms. They fought fiercely. Kale dodged and struck. But the creature was strong. Just when Kale was about to be overwhelmed, Rhea's core energy surged through him. He felt strength like never before. With one final strike, he defeated the guard. The Cedar's collapse. The core's power spread. The Cedar trembled. Machine started to malfunction. The Queen screamed in rage. The Cedar began to sink back into the ocean. Victory and loss. The battle was won, but at great cost. Many soldiers and hunters lay wounded or dead. Kale stood beside Rhea. We stopped them, he said, for now. The unknown future. As the sun set, Kale looked to the horizon. The Valari will return, he said, but Earth will be ready. Rhea held the ancient key. We have the core and hope. The victory was fresh, but the cost was heavy. The battlefield was silent except for the groans of the wounded. Kale stood beside Rhea, watching the ocean where the Cedar had disappeared. But peace would not last. A dark discovery back at the UN Command Center. Rhea analyzed data from the battle. Her eyes widened in shock. Kale, look at this. On the screen, a secret transmission appeared. A human voice, but different. It was a signal sent to the Valari from inside Earth. A traitor. The traitor among us. The room fell silent. Kale's face hardened. Who could betray us? Rhea shook her head. Someone close. The leaders ordered an immediate investigation. The hidden agenda. Late at night, Kale met with Nyla and Derek. We must find the traitor before it's too late, Kale said. Nyla nodded. They could be anywhere. In the government, military, even among the hunters. Derek clenched his fists. We can't trust anyone. The secret meeting in a dark room. A figure spoke to the Valari through a hologram. Your plan is working, the figure said. We will deliver the key. The core will be ours. The Valari Queen's voice echoed. Good. Earth will fall. Rhea's doubt. Rhea felt the weight of the secret. She wondered if someone she trusted was the enemy. She confided in Kale. Who can I trust? Kale placed a hand on her shoulder. Trust yourself. The first clue. The investigation revealed strange movements of supplies, weapons, and technology disappearing. Kale and Nyla followed the trail to a secret facility. Inside, they found evidence. Valari tech hidden and powered. Someone is helping them, Kale whispered. The ambushes. They prepared to leave. Alarm sounded. VLAR. Soldiers burst in. Kale and Nyla fought hard, but were outnumbered. Just as they were about to be captured, a mysterious figure appeared, firing plasma blasts. The Valari retreated. The mysterious rescuer. The figure lowered their hood. It was a woman, strong and fierce. I'm here to help, she said. Kale narrowed his eyes. Who are you? My name is Zara. I was part of the old colony, like Rhea. She stepped forward. I know the traitor. The betrayal revealed. Zara explained that the traitor was a high-ranking official in the UN, secretly working with the Valari for power. He believes the Valari will make Earth stronger, but he's wrong. Kale's anger burned. We have to stop him. Preparing for the final fight, with Zara's help, Kale and the hunters planned their next move. They would expose the traitor and protect the core. But the Valari were watching. The final battle was coming. The world was holding its breath. The traitor had been revealed, but the danger was far from over. The Valari were preparing for their greatest assault, a full siege on Earth. The Valari strike at dawn. The sky darkened. Valari ships blocked the sun, forming an enormous fleet. They fired beams that tore through cities. Alarms blared worldwide. Kale shouted orders. Defend the cities. Protect the core. Earth's last line, the hunters and soldiers fought fiercely. Neela led a strike team to the city ruins. Derek defended the core base with heavy weapons. Rhea worked non-stop to stabilize the core's power. The Queen's threat. The Velari Queen appeared on every screen, her voice cold and commanding. Earth, you have resisted long enough. Surrender now or be destroyed. Kale ignored the warning. We will never surrender. The breach the Velari found a weak point near the core. Velari warriors poured in. Kale and his team fought hand to dash hand. The battle was desperate. Rhea's power as. The battle raged. Rhea connected fully with the core. A bright light exploded from her hands. Velari's soldiers were thrown back. She screamed, Earth will survive. The turning tide inspired by Rhea's power. The soldiers pushed the Velari back. The tide of battle changed. Kale led a charge to destroy the Velari command ship. The final showdown. Kale faced the Velari Queen in a massive chamber aboard the ship. They fought fiercely. The Queen wielded alien weapons and deadly power. Kale used every skill he had. Victory at a cost. Kale struck a final blow. The Queen fell. The Velari fleet retreated. Earth was saved. But many lives were lost. A new dawn. The sun rose over a battered Earth. Kale and Rhea stood together. The fight is over, Kale said. For now, Rhea smiled. We'll rebuild. And be ready. Earth was quiet again. The battles had ended, but the world had changed forever. Aftermath. Cities lay in ruins. Families mourned. Yet, among the ashes, life began to grow again. Kale and Rhea walked through a recovering city. The cost was high, Kale said quietly, but we survived. The core's gift. Rhea touched the core key. Energy pulsed gently. The core had healed parts of Earth. Water was clean. Plants grew stronger. This power, it's a new chance for us. New alliances from the stars came. Messages, not all Velari were enemies. Some wanted peace. Zara spoke to the UN leaders. We can build a future together. Earth's future schools reopened. Scientists studied the core. Hunters trained new generations. Kale looked at the horizon. Hopeful, we must protect Earth. Always. A message in the stars. Late one night, Rhea saw a star map glowing. It pointed beyond the solar system. A new journey, she said. Kale smiled. Earth is our home, but the universe is waiting. Hope and vigilance. The Velari threat was gone, but the memory remained. Kale gathered the hunters. Be ready. Be strong. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a symbol of hope, a new beginning.